Hello, everyone. Welcome to FMA Talk Martial Chronicles live. I'm Dr. Tim, and this is my wonderful co-host.
Hey, PG's Highs here. Welcome.
And I can see she's not in the. Our special guest is in the wings. I can see her. I'm going to wave to her. You can wave back. I can see you. No one else can see you. Actually, PG Tye can see you, I think.
No.
Can you see her? Okay, so I'm the only one that can see you. So we're not gonna take the normal talk about this, that, and the other thing. Okay. Hi, it's Tony from MSD.
Awesome.
Okay, there you go. If you're watching this, please, by all means, let us know what part of the world you're logging in from. Do us a favor, or not, but if you could do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and feel free to share this video wherever you feel appropriate. So tonight we're going to go for a little short, at least the first half, because the topic is the future of Filipino martial arts. Really, it's the future of all martial arts. And in my opinion, it's kids. I'm very outspoken about this. I have one of my guys who's doing movies right now, and he's 31, and he started with me when he was 4 years old. And if I hadn't taken him in, he may have gone to karate or taekwondo if they would have even done it at that age at that time. And what a loss that would have been. Phenomenal ambassador. But speaking of great ambassadors and upcoming black belts, Miss Shaiya is on the side here. We're going to bring her in. Hello, Miss Shaiya.
Hello.
Hey, Shaiya, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
She's a person of few words. So Miss Shaiya was in class tonight too. We were working Panantukan. So Miss Shaiya, I'm gonna leave a lot of this up to you because I do it now. So first, and everybody's listen. I know it's an adult show, but be polite. But we're gonna talk about Miss Shaiya. Miss Shaiya's gonna be on for a little while. I'm not sure how long she's gonna be here. We are going to talk about the future and different things as part of this, but she does multiple things, multiple sports, keeps her grades up. So we're not going to keep her up all night with us, and we can talk about some of this. But I will say Miss Shaiya started with me when she was 3 years old. She just turned 12 years old. So happy birthday, Shaiya. Although you should have gotten the text message. So that means 9 years of Filipino martial arts. Okay, she's also one of, if not the youngest, Modern Arnis Black Belt. Well, in the World Modern Arnis Alliance, maybe in the world completely. And listen, watch this, Shai. You can see this at the bottom. Mr. Eric says, "Happy birthday."
Thank you.
Actually, it's Tony. But anyway, okay, all right. So, Mr. Tye, if you take point, because
Well, it's good. I haven't had a good chance to chat with her. We've just been playing, and then she's been beating me up and stuff. So good.
She tries to beat everybody up.
That's right. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got the normal, obvious question is, since you started at 3, I guess we didn't start. Actually, the first thing would be, what got you started? How did you start?
Well, it's because I did ballet when I was little, and I didn't like it, and I bawled my eyes out, so I went to karate.
Okay.
Arnis.
It says karate on the side.
It does say karate on the side.
Okay, good. So and now you've had 9 years doing that. What do you think were some highlights? I think people just to get a state of some of the things you've seen and felt and done. What are some of the highlights that you've would talk about if you're talking about your journey here?
Pressure in big tournaments.
Big tournaments, like doing what?
The World National Championship.
So sparring, forms.
Yeah.
Okay, techniques, or they didn't do that?
Pad drills and all that stuff.
Okay, that's right, pad drills. Okay, good.
Yeah. So we have gone to the World Seeker-On Championships, and and Mr. Hiltz from Canada says hello to us. There we go. So that was up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Miss Shaiya and her mom, who's probably hiding in the background somewhere. There is parental supervision going on. I do not let people on without parental supervision. I mean, I have parents watching me all the time. But anyways, so Shaiya has been to the World Championships. We have a local martial art league, which she has been the overall points champion multiple years in her age group, doing point fighting, stick fighting, weapon forms, hand forms. There's even they also did pad drills because some of the schools didn't do forms right away, so they actually do like boxing combinations, which our school just took to it like fish to water. So very accomplished competitor.
And Shaiya, so you went up through the ranks sort of twice, right? Can you describe that?
Yeah.
So what all did you have to do? You started at 3, and how did you go up through those ranks? Because I think people don't realize when we say
Just
black belt that there's a lot behind that. Yeah, go ahead.
for my junior and stuff, like getting my junior.
Mm-hmm. So when was that, and what did you do?
More like just kept practicing to get better and better.
Well, she actually went through 3 sets of curriculum. So we
3 sets.
have a little Arnisador program, which is for the 3.5 to 6-year-olds, and it has 1 belting system. We have the junior Arnisadors, which are the 7 to 12-year-olds, and that's another training curriculum, and then the adult program. So she's done this 3 times.
Right. So by now you must be. I think I've seen you helping out in class and stuff like that. Do you enjoy aspects of teaching, and is that part of what you do, or is that just because you're helping?
I just like doing it to help out other little kids.
So do you find out that one of the things I noticed is I find out that things that I had problems with actually help me with others having their problems. Did you see anything like that?
Yeah, a couple times here and there.
Yeah. So you share an example if you don't mind.
When I was doing the form wrong and the kid knew, and then I followed off of him and it helped me. Then I helped the other little kids do it.
Perfect. Okay. Now, so as you're, gone through 3 curricula and worked your way up, I believe you're participating in all of the adult classes as well now, right?
Yeah,
Okay. How's that going?
good.
Good. What do you like about those? Do you notice a difference between a sort of a progression, or what can you describe about what you notice between the
Or
two?
just more advanced techniques.
More advanced? Okay. All right. So Datu said you used some international travel for things you did. Did you like that?
Yeah, I love that.
The travel part or the competing? I know you like the competing, but how did you like the travel?
Both. It's fun hanging out with Tyler and Ryan and them.
Sure. Nice. So one of the things that I think people are probably going to ask, well, and so I'm waiting for questions to come in. One of the things that people might naturally ask is, so where do you go from here? A lot of times people, I think mistakenly, but they think that black belt and adult black belt, you're done, good to go, right? You can stop. What do you think about that?
I'm going to keep going to my 10th degree and just keep going.
Awesome. Perfect. That will help everybody, including yourself, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. You're getting a lot of kudos from the side here. Alan Manuel says, watching from Sierra Madre, Canada, California. TKS and Lightning Kali Arnisador of UP from the Philippines. He wanted to say salute, Pugay, respect.
Here we go. There's another one.
Yep. And Peter D. Dog, great topic. As a dog brother, he's one of the dog brothers, like PG Craig, who you know well. As a dog brother, what my kids and I work on is the sewing machine. Principle is if you can ice pick them once, do it 10 times. Overkill. You're a big fan of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
You go to town on people and keep going, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just to give a perspective, I'm 5'10", 3/4. I'll take that 3/4, This is Shaiya when she first became a junior black belt. So first of all, in our system, what we do is when you become a black belt, a junior black belt, it means you've graduated the kids' curriculum. So you have a black belt with a white stripe down the middle. The black says you've graduated from the kids program. The white represents how much of the adult curriculum you've completed. Now, really, they're probably an intermediate student, but we start over and go. So this is when she first And Miss Shaiya first was a white black belt, junior black belt, and you can see she was a little short there. Now she's not so short. She comes up to my shoulder now. But let me see here. I'm going to fast forward. So, okay, at her and Mr. Josh. See, because like anyone can have a student that can do something. Okay, and hello, Mr. Darren from the Philadelphia area. So this is Shai here on the left. She's let her hair grow a lot longer since then. And Mr. Josh on the right. I loaded this video up a year ago, but it's older than that. So I think Shai was probably 10 years old at this time, maybe 9.5. I'm talking a lot here. We're going to do Super Sinwali, and they're going to do it on their own. Here we go. And we're showing how we use a padded stick in one hand and a rattan stick in the other hand to figure out how to teach a Sinwali. Actually, we're just doing single Sinwali, evidently. I guess we didn't do that. But boom, let me see here. Eric, Shaiya, when are you going to spar again?
Nice.
It's Tony.
In the World National Championship or in class?
Oh, she spars all the time in class. Let me see here. There's that video. But we can ask a little more. Let's do another. I was trying to find some footage. So this is a little farther down the curriculum. She's a blue belt now, so finishing. So this is Super Sinwali. This is Shai and Alana. So I think Alana in this video is 11 years old. And of course, I'm making comments, and the whole thing was very tongue-in-cheek. So if they start making silly faces in the back, it was actually part of the shtick. Someone said, well, they stole the show. I'm like, of course. They're cute kids. Then there's my face. Who would you rather look at? You know? Yeah. So it's not. See, my thing here is with teaching kids, it's not a one-off. I mean, can you teach one kid? Of course you can teach one kid. All right. But, you'll always have that person in the class. But do you have a bunch of people in the class? So this is Shaiya doing it with me here. This is our Super Sinwali. That Sinwali we like because that's our deep knee bends for adults. That's the Arnis deep knee bends. A lot of times when I've got so many Sinwalis in my head, sometimes I mix them up, and she's like, "You got that wrong." Like, thanks, Shaiya. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
No, it's good.
Oh, sure another person says hello for May de Leon. Oh, okay, here we go. Now here's the kids. This is, and of course, we're breaking it down. So of course they're going to go faster than me because they just got to show that they can do it faster than me. So all right, we'll see if we can just get to the end of that. But the big thing. Well, I said, Shaiya is probably one of my best youth students I've produced so far. And at the end of the day, everyone's got to remember it takes two. Actually, it takes three in this case. So I can teach Shaiya what to do, but she still has to do the work. So it's her and me, and then her parents for bringing her. Three entities have to be part of this team. It's not one-sided. I make sure when we do promotions and stuff, when people get a new belt, they give the old belt to their parents, give them a big hug and say, I love you, and stuff, and tell them that they couldn't do it without their support because they can't. They don't pay for it. They don't drive themselves. They don't do their own laundry. Sooner or later they will. But I've got, and then of course there's the lightsaber version because you gotta have the lightsaber version.
Right.
And there you go. So, boom. So there we go. We'll do the three background here.
Nice.
I'm going to change my background. I'll do this for a little bit.
So we've said sparring a lot. I know you've posted some videos with her sparring, and she wasn't by name, right? But we've seen some. Do you have any of those handy? I'm sure people are going to want to see those. If
I was looking for that. I couldn't find it. Let
got all excited.
Let me see. Will you ask some questions while I look for some videos here?
Sure. Yeah. So you started at 3, and you didn't like dancing. That was cool. Because you found something you like, which is the best thing, right? What's the best activity you should do? The one that you like doing. Go with it. So I bet you probably, you've run across kids like, how could you do that? Or I'm scared or whatever. What would you tell someone maybe your age or younger, right, who is interested in joining a martial arts school, but they had some doubts? What would you tell them having done it? Do you think that would help?
Well, for like self-defense, it will help you more than being scared, and also help with coordination and with pressure and what to do in those situations.
Perfect. But they should just go ahead and do it though if they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bite the bullet, you'll be fine, right? How about your, Datu mentioned the family support. I think that's really key. It sounds like they supported you all along the way. I think. Do you think that helped your communication and bond and clarity with your parents and help firm up that relationship? I hope.
Yeah.
Great.
Like helping me out with everything, driving me, paying for me, doing my laundry, doing everything for me. It really helps out with everything.
Perfect. So everybody's focused together, and
yeah.
Excellent. That's what it's all about, together.
Okay, so Peter here. Well said, champ. Fully empowering kids to be aggressive and to go full speed with weapon use is key. You fight how you train. The warrior culture begins at home. And
Nice.
then I'm going to answer this question here. So when do you prefer to teach teaching footwork? At what age? What belt? What age? So a lot of time I teach different footwork at different ages because of basic of understanding or lack thereof. Ultimately, I never start with footwork. So for those who aren't familiar with Buffalo, we're the snow capital of the states. Well, actually, we just have better coverage than everyone else. But, we just recently had a blizzard, which really wasn't that bad snowfall-wise. We only had like 3 or 4 feet. Unfortunately, it was 50 to 70 mile an hour winds. When I was down in Delaware with you guys, we got a little over 4 feet of snow and it buried everything. And that was pretty much overnight. Because Buffalo has an environment that is slippery all year round, whether it be sleet, rain, dew, something spilled in the parking lot, you're in a club, whatever. My goal, first of all, I do upper body isolation. I get the upper body going because sooner or later you're going to have to use your arms to do the technique, whether it be block or hold a weapon and stuff like that. Then, oh, hello, Miss Angela.
Hello.
And that's Shaiya's wonderful mother. She's got great support for parents. They're both there. I saw dad tonight. Sometimes it's mom. The other thing too is Shaiya does a lot. Let me sidetrack on this. So the benefit of martial arts, let me give you another benefit here. Here's a big benefit. She is crushing it this year in soccer. Crushing it. Where you're going up a team right now, right? I mean, up a division.
Wow.
So the coaches are like, how long has she been playing? This is year 1.
Right.
And then finally said, well, what does she do? She does martial arts. Well, that explains everything.
Right.
Martial arts helps so much thing. And she is destroying things. But the thing here is she's maintaining her school grades. She's doing soccer. She's doing martial arts. Her brother and sister does other things. And the family somehow finds time to do family units together. They traveled together. They went around the country, did some RVing and stuff. We won't go into those little details, but this is a very well-balanced family with a lot of good support. It was a good kid that got even more focused, so it wasn't an issue of, Shaiya would go home from a tournament and her mom would send me videos of Shaiya doing staff work with rebar in the backyard after she just got done being at a tournament for 5-6 hours, and then she's outside for another hour twirling a hunk of rebar. Rebar. But getting back to whatever the name is. I start. The kids. The footwork is a little different, but I start moving offline. Probably intermediate belts with beginner in the adult program. It's usually on every belt level we're doing some kind of footwork and increasing it. But really, ultimately, I want them to be able to do their techniques in a stationary position, because if you're attacked while you're sitting down, if you're attacked while you're in a car seatbelted, at a restaurant, whatever the case may be, first we want to be able to do our defenses without moving. And then if the environment allows us to move, we augment that with our footwork. But like I said, we could be knee deep in snow, mud, or whatever and not be able to move. So, but I do have like Josh. Oh, actually, it was Shaiya. I mean, a bunch of times that she sparred, she was well, I mean, no, actually, Shaiya never stepped offline. She just normally charged down the center line and beat up everybody and made the boys cry. But using Josh as an example, I would tell Josh, sidestep. He'd sidestep and punch someone or kick him in the head every time. And the thing here is the coolest thing about us, the coolest thing I like about what we're doing, we're competing in open martial art divisions by their rules, using Filipino martial arts, doing just as good, and in many cases, Shaiya is the example, even better than the traditional karate people in their own games.
Right. Just to emphasize that point again, though, you said open martial arts tournaments, so all styles.
Mm-hmm.
Open styles are represented, and typically you'd have a lot of karate,
taekwondo. We as Filipino martial arts, many Filipino martial arts systems have no weapon or have no open hand training. I've seen that, but Remy put together a program that is very comprehensive. We punch, we kick, we lock, we throw. I've gone into all these different venues, and there was a learning curve when I first started competing. But I wasn't a sport karate guy. I started in Modern Arnis, and that's what I do. And Shaiya started in Modern Arnis, and that's what she's doing. Okay, I'm going to step off for a minute because somebody's being a knucklehead.
Uh-oh, great. The dogs. So back to Shaiya. So we've talked about you a lot. You shared some things. What are one or two things you're probably most proud of? We'll start with the positive first. What are probably one of the two things with your training or with your results, however you want to go?
My adult black belt, and probably just starting to get to my black belt.
So you said starting there. That's probably a good choice of words. Do you believe that now you're really on the road to where you want to be?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So along the same lines, though, right? We all have things to work on. I got things to work on. Datu's got things to work on. What do you think that you're sort of focused on now to get better at, or in along those reasons too? Enjoy maybe.
Well, just having passion for the sport, probably.
Okay. Well, I think you're already good at that, right?
Yeah.
But you're talking about letting yourself indulge that passion.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Okay. Do you have any areas that you're like, hey, maybe you weren't happy with what you did maybe in a tournament, or maybe you weren't happy with a new thing that you just learned? It sounds like you really work on those things a lot on your own. Do you still do that?
Well, I do it not much anymore as when I was little, when I was like super crazy about it, but it's mainly like my hand forms. I don't like those anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, what are you working on now?
Pad drills, sparring, and forms.
The stick forms or the hand?
Yeah.
Or weapons forms, right? Because you guys do the other weapons as well.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I like, to me, I think for her, the thing that really makes me proud, when we talk about accomplishments, is not the martial arts. It's how she behaves in the martial arts. Mm-hmm. So Shaiya it took me a while to get Shaiya not to win all the time. And now when we go to a tournament, we go to win. Mm-hmm. And sometimes Shaiya is asked to do I'll have Shaiya do an exhibition match. At the beginning, she was like winning it all. I'm like, no, you don't need this one. Calm down. It's your friend. Let your friend win this one. Let him get a couple of points. And she does really good at that. But like, we were at tournaments, and this is it. Okay, they say martial art is a sport, can be a sport like everything else. Martial arts builds character, but martial art competition reveals character. Okay, Doing competition reveals character. I make sure before we go to a tournament, everyone in my school has both lost and won in simulated tournament experiences. Because I want to see, they need to be good losers and better winners.
Mhm.
We had a division, people were, a girl in her division walked off the floor during her form, or actually before the form. Everyone else competes. They brought her back out and said, "Do you sure want to do it?" Unfortunately, she got the best score. Now, that's not the bad part. The bad part was she was disqualified because she left the floor. And somehow she ends up winning the division, because we could have easily sat there and said, "Oh, well, I'll skip my turn and go last." Because, usually you want to be the last person out there if you've got decent forms, because you get the best scores. Obviously, I didn't have anything to do with this, and it was rectified, and parents got upset about it afterwards. And Shaiya got third in this. It was fixed. She was bumped to second, but she didn't care. Division was over. She was talking to all the kids in the division. She's talking to the other kids in the divisions like they're from our own school.
Perfect.
It's not an issue. And if she doesn't do well, she's got a creative form she does. And the one time she throws the staff up in the air, and of course we're at nationals, and she drops the staff. Doesn't cry, doesn't do anything, picks it up, continues the form, and she got last because you dropped the weapon in a black belt division. Didn't throw her at all.
Perfect.
Doesn't throw a hissy fit. She's not a crybaby. We've all got teared up when we had a good shot. Someone hits you just a little too hard. It's like, oh God, But she doesn't want to complain about it, because Shaiya usually slaps the boys around, And then Mr. Frank says, hello. That's from Connecticut. And here, read this one, because my eyes aren't. There we go.
Peter, dog brother again, says, Shaiya, you can definitely inspire others to take up martial arts. The confidence, quiet toughness, and that character that Datu spoke of, and you have. Really great. Thanks, all.
Here we go.
And Teofeo, because she's bad to the bone. Kudos, Shaiya. There you go.
Now, I will say, listen, and there's a whole bunch of things. Like, Shaiya has not... I'm going to show a video of her doing some pad drills.
Yes. Nice.
We need to work on our hands. We were talking about this the other day. We did a whole bunch of a quick YouTube shorts, because we're doing a social media day, and we're just putting stuff out there. It is what it is, and we know there's things we always need to work on. So her guard's a little off, but the thing here is, why this just shows some intensity and stuff like that. Hopefully everyone likes it as much as I did. Let me see here. Present here. That's all on my YouTube channel. By all means, go check out my YouTube. Subscribe, like, hit the notification button, and share wherever you feel appropriate. I feel like a used car salesman. And of course, on my recent shorts, she's got the third most popular one.
Of course.
But after tonight, everybody, let's make this number one. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Now, from my point of view, could it be higher? Of course it could. She could have her hands up a lot. But the other thing, too, is I'm not holding it right. I'm holding it like a foot taller than her. Oh, my goodness. My dog has just opened up.
Well, that's going to be who she's going to have to hit anyway. So
there you go.
So I'm glad you mentioned something about the treating like competitors are friends. I think people get wrapped around the axle thinking that, hey, when you're competing something, they're literally your enemy. No, they're your crucible, right? Somebody that helps you push yourself to get better, right? I see you nodding. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So in class, have you also met people you wouldn't have normally met at all different ages and made friendships that way just from class? And do you find that beneficial?
Yeah, like different age group, like different ages, and from different areas of Buffalo.
Great. So, and eventually you guys have to fight. So, do you find, like I do sometimes, when you push each other, that's a sort of a bonding experience, right? A shared experience. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very nice. No, I appreciate that you got the good sportsmanship, because really, why are you competing? You're actually competing to push each other to both get better. I don't think you're competing to hurt anybody. I don't think you are. I'm not, right? You're trying to get better at what you do, but you can't do that if you hurt people. So good deal.
Yeah.
If if there's any questions, if there's any things that you wanted to say, like you wanted to make sure that, hey, some person realized this about what it takes to, this or that, whatever you're thinking, to start or keep going as early as you did. I'm sure for you, it's probably the case that, hey, I've been doing this forever. Yeah, I know how I started, but now it's just a part of who I am, and that's okay to say that too. But anything you want to share that maybe I hadn't asked? I know I was putting you on the spot, but I mean, just anything. It could be anything. Hey, I really like this, or hey, PG Craig needs to come down more often. It doesn't matter.
He comes down a lot.
Yep. Wasn't he down there this weekend?
Yes, but I didn't see him.
Oh, okay.
I had a soccer tournament.
Oh, great. No, so you mentioned he mentioned soccer. Now you mentioned it again. So do you really? I think it's true, but I want to hear what you think. Do you think that do you think you were an athlete from the get go, or do you really think that martial arts helped you develop that self control and the ability to move, so that then you do a sport, it's much easier for you? What do you think?
Well, I think karate just helped me with all my balance and my coordination and stuff.
Perfect.
What's it called again, Shaiya?
Balance.
No, it's not karate. It's Arnis.
I think she's
rough when you have karate on there.
I'm guessing she's using it as a term, martial arts.
Martial arts. Yeah.
Karate is the word from all martial arts, right?
Yeah,
everybody knows this.
I mean, Taekwondo used to advertise them as karate. So.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Kung Fu used to be Chinese karate, yeah, all that good stuff, yeah.
And Remy did start off with calling it Filipino karate.
Did you? So I know it's really hard to imagine what you thought when you were 3, but I know you said, hey, I want to do martial arts. That's great. Did you have an idea of what kind you wanted to do, or did you it didn't even occur to you and you lucked out?
I just wanted one where I could fight and just have a passion for it.
Already you wanted to fight. That's awesome. I know that D-Dog there is probably cheering, right? That's awesome.
I
think Master Rich has a question.
Master Rich says, hi, Shaiya.
Hi.
So, yeah. Now, I got to say, this is not the norm for Modern Arnis. For those who are listening in, Modern Arnis is taught as a secondary or tertiary system. So you might have been part of a fighting school, but that would have been a karate, taekwondo, fill-in-the-blank school that did fighting in their thing. I only knew of a small handful of people in Modern Arnis that fought. Our school, I fought, my school fought, but that's not Modern Arnis. Although, because I used to have people sit there and say, well, we don't fight. I go, did you ever read the Pink Book? Right. There's fighting rules. There's tournament rules in there.
Yep.
Okay, Datu and PG and instructors give us the knowledge. In 10, 15 years, it would be Punong Guro Shaiya. Well, I tell you what, here's the thing I'm really proud of. So I just recently talked about this in my school. I started Filipino Martial Arts I started in Filipino Martial Arts, and I started when I was 19 years old. So that's Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan is a 3rd-degree black belt at 19 years old. Okay. Shaiya was 11 years old as an adult black belt. Remember, she went through 3, and PG Tye was there for the test. Master Parsons was there for the test. Shaiya was okay, and we went through like who's the strongest, who's solid, who's weak, who might not, who shouldn't be on, like who's a borderline person. She was never a borderline person. She was rock solid on the test. I am just so excited to see what they're going to be like when they get closer to my age. I mean, Shaiya's already better at martial arts than when I started when I was 19. She's just turned 12 years old. Ryan is a 3rd-degree black belt in the art that I teach, in the art that I started in, at the age I started in.
Right.
I mean, if we can keep this all if we all do this, our future could be rock solid.
Yep.
But so here's a question. Okay, so Rich said, I saw her in action. She loves the competition, and she not only enjoys it, she's good. And here we go. This is from Canada. Hello, Miss Shaiya. What is your favorite activity or drill in Arnis? So what's your favorite besides sparring?
Sabat's Sabat forums.
Okay. So Sabat is the Filipino staff. Okay. So if we're going to take the future, there we go. So if we're going to take forms out of the mix, which is good, let's here's the thing. Here's a fighter that likes doing forms.
Yes.
Do you ever hear that, Ty?
Sometimes, but it's rare, and it's certainly not the stereotype.
All right. So besides doing any of our forms, there, Shaiya, what is your favorite drill do you like doing in class, or what activity? Well, actually, what's your favorite drill in class?
Tappy tappy.
Tappy tappy. There you go.
Which is a drill, which is perfect.
Yeah, and I tell you, Shaiya was always. It's funny. Even if Shaiya doesn't know something, I whipped off Hubud one day. Shaiya, come help me. So she helps me when I've got. Like tonight, it was just black belts only. That was not by design. That just happened to work out that way. But we're in a group class. I bring her up a lot because I bring kids and the girls up whenever possible. And here's the reason why. It's a male-dominated environment, not my school, but martial arts. And a lot of times the girls don't get any play in that. They're always grabbing a guy. So I want to give everyone an equal opportunity. I also bring her up because she's rock solid. It's a bonus that she's a girl. Like there's a lot of times, but I'm trying to encourage everyone to be in there. So I will look through the room, and like I just taught at the gathering in September, or is it October, whatever. And I was grabbing. There was a bunch of juniors at the event. I was grabbing the guys and the girls up equally, bringing them all up in front, joking with them, really trying to make it a positive experience. So I bring Shaiya up, and we're doing Hubud, and we're doing the basic straight line Hubud. Shaiya's never done Hubud before.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pop, pop, pop. I had her. I mean, she was doing groupings with Bobby Tabuada once. Although when it was his turn to do it, I don't think she was like, "Who is this guy?" I prepped her to do a grouping with Bobby, and I was like, "I don't know about this guy." I think, and he, I think the other thing is like, he was probably, I will go nice and slow with her. No, you better go fast because she can bang, and it just never.
That will mess her up.
It didn't. Well, and it didn't click, and I think that was the reason why. Right. But but I've brought her up many times doing techniques that she's never done before. I say, hey, come on, help me out with this.
Just rolls with it. I've noticed that too. You're really good at that, Shaiya. Do you have you mentioned techniques or drills and stuff. Do you have a favorite technique? Right, just an isolated. Hey, I really like this thing.
No, I like all of them actually.
Okay, no, that's fair. I'm right there with you. Do you see how they're all connected? I know you guys emphasize that in the training at the school there, and I know I've seen you emphasize that in teaching it. Do you like that? How they reinforce each other, and do you see that?
Yeah, because you keep adding on stuff, and it just all blends together.
In a good way, right? In a constructive way, not just as forgetting it, because some people will take it that way. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That's awesome. What's next for Miss Shaiya? So as you progress on down the road, are there goals that you have on the interim? I know you said 10th degree. That'll be in a couple years at least.
10th
right?
degree.
So
probably.
In the meantime, what along the way are you looking for a milestone?
Probably go to the Philippines and teach. Probably.
Excellent. I don't know when that will be, right?
Yeah, Mom's like, yeah, that's when she has her own job.
Right, exactly.
Unless Mom wants to go to the Philippines, and then
I had a person asking about that trip for the next one, by the way. I'll have to get with you on that.
Yeah, well, we're looking 2024. I still would like to go by myself first to make sure there's something left after COVID, but I think everyone's telling me we're good to go. I just gotta make a phone call. I know I've got drivers set up. I know I've got backup hotels.
Gotcha. So teaching the Philippines is a goal. Do you think you would go to the Philippines first, or you think you want to just when you get there, you're just gonna knock it out of the park when you get there and jump on people and say, here's let me share some stuff.
Probably just share all the stuff I learned.
Awesome. No, they would eat that up, I'm sure, because one of the things they appreciate is all of the wide variety of people and just people in general, right? If you do something you love and you see other people that you didn't expect or didn't know of digging in as deep as you, that is just builds your enthusiasm. So that's great. And hopefully you would see the same things over there. There's some really good folks everywhere. Cool. Anything else on those horizons that you were thinking about, or is that too far ahead?
I think it's good.
Okay. So what about the rest of your life? So you've got, let's see, you're 12. So you're, what is that? That's, is that middle school? Do they have middle school where you're at?
Like middle school, but also like
Junior high?
elementary-ish.
Elementary. Okay. So any thoughts for what you do, as you, thinking about college or technical schools or anything like that? And will you keep your Arnis going?
Yeah, I'll keep my Arnis going when I'm playing soccer in colleges and that stuff.
Great. You could actually start a club in most colleges that will let you, if they're not already a club, you could start one.
Yeah.
You want to read that, Tim, or I'll get it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So D-Dog again. Great going, champ. Worldwide sisters and brothers in the martial arts. I've trained all over the planet. We are all one. Excellent. Excellent. I think you got a fan there. There you
That's
go. Awesome.
Hey, Shai, while you're there, ask your mom if she wanted me to share that.
Sure.
Did mom just say yes?
Yes. So that's just like a little montage that I have of her.
Okay.
That's kind of, it's nice because it shows from how small she was in the progression.
Okay, let me just
Nice.
I'm trying to, okay, there we go. Yeah. Just all right. Problem is I'm doing Instagram versus this. So okay, I'm gonna share the screen. Don't get too embarrassed, Shai. Remember, your mom sent this to me. So at first we thought she was Tarzan.
Nice. Pow, pow, pow.
There she is again.
Mm-hmm.
As a practicing down in Florida. Yep. The gloves are very important to do that. And then, of course, she was like training her brother to do all this stuff.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, Shai. When Shai gets married or whatever, they're going to bring this video out.
The torture.
Remember this? I go, yeah, I do.
What a lot of self-discipline. That is awesome. That's impressive, Shai. All the focus.
Oh, we're back to the beginning. Okay. All right. Cool. So, see, not too embarrassing. And then from Brazil, here we go. Good evening, Datu, PG, and Shaiya.
Excellent.
To my brother Teles in Brazil, which I just bought my tickets the other day to go down in May. And so was PG Craig. So, can I see another Lady Arnis Master in the future? Love to bring one on. Working on someone.
Well, he's saying he's seeing into the future right now, saying he's.
I can see it. Okay, that's a problem. I can see another master. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, here we go.
Votes of confidence, Shaiya.
Shaiya, when is your next tournament that we can watch?
The World Modern Arnis Championships in 2024.
Okay, all right. Oh, well, World Filipino Martial Arts Championships. Are you you're not doing another tournament between now and then?
No.
Okay, so we do have to get you out there a couple of times just to prepare you here and there. So, but oh my God, my dog has just emptied out the garbage can. Got different things he's eating in front of me. Whatever. So, but I tell you what, for everyone's there, when next time Shai is out, we will definitely do a little video montage. Put it up there. I've got footage of her. Actually, Mom sent it to me, and she is just like destroying these boys. And actually, I wonder. Give me a minute. I'm going to turn the mic off.
It's not just the boys, right? When you spar anybody, right? It's you don't care. You know what the purpose is, and you go, which is fun. I think I've only played with you a couple times like that, and I always was impressed. So I look forward to doing that some more. Plus, you make me move, which I need. So I appreciate that. Not sure what he's doing. Let's see. So I had my brain got stuck there for a second. So who else? Is there been anybody else at the school there that has sort of come up with you, or at least for long branches of time, that you're working with right now, maybe at the school? Who is there? Someone that you tend to pair up with when you're working things?
Well, they quit. There's a couple of them. The Lazarus boys,
Right.
Tyler, the Sleds, and Alana and Caitlin.
All right. Okay. We already said a few of those names recently. Okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's who I might have guessed. You guys are all very, very focused, and it seems like you keep each other on point and push each other and encourage each other, which is great. Excellent stuff. Is this sparring? Oh, there you go. Or is it drills? Drills. Okay. Nice.
Do you hear her hit those pads?
I can't hear anything, but I don't have my speakers turned up too loud.
Okay.
Nice.
There's a sparring. I'm looking for sparring footage that Mom sent me, but I don't know if it's still there.
I have a lot. We're just on my phone for the connection.
Oh, okay. I was about to do that because I was having network problems here in a second. And then I just configured things. So I get you. Anything you want to say, or that we asked or didn't ask or should have asked Mom off the side there?
She keeps shooing me out of the frame, so I'll try to be quick.
It is her show, but
we're just really proud of her. It's exciting to see her set a goal for herself and really push through. We kind of let her lead this whole process. There were times where we were honestly tired of going, and she just, there were weeks 4 or 5 times a week she would want to show up. And she entered every tournament, and, she would spend Saturdays there. And she just set this goal. She was really serious about it. And if you can't tell from just this, she actually is very shy. And it's done wonders for her confidence. She doesn't really like to be the center of attention. And it's kind of, at times, thrust her into that and really helped build her. But we see things in her that, even for her age, are just different. And I know a lot of it is to do with martial arts and a sense of responsibility. Like, I don't have to really get after her for schoolwork. She gets all her work done. I don't have to check in on it. Just, we'll be out, and if she sees someone, she'll bag their groceries. She always brings stuff in the morning. She gets her little brother and sister's stuff ready. There's just like this sense of what to take care of to get things done. This big motivation for someone her age. And I think it's really special in our society for her as a female to really have this goal and have reached it, because even, just randomly, if I'm telling somebody, they just assume that it's just like a little kid's black belt and she didn't really work, as hard as she did. Or even when she lines up in tournaments, sometimes she's really kind of just considered not a threat. So to see her really kind of push past some of those boundaries and those boxes, it's been, just awesome seeing her grow. And I was in martial arts when I was little and I quit. I only made it to a green belt. So I know how much work she's done. And just even her, same thing. I did put her in dance. I thought that's what I would do. And she just rebelled against that, said she wanted to go to a dojo, and the rest was kind of history. So it's really nice to let her kind of forge her own path. She stepped back from teaching when she was really focused on her black belt, and she wants to step back from tournaments a little bit more to get some of her form stronger for the worlds, but she's still going to do some. But it's just really nice to be able to watch her grow so much through this sport and see the kind of human being that it's shaping her into becoming.
I'm glad I asked, and thank you for sharing that. as a parent myself, right? If there's a word that's the opposite of heartbreak, that's what I feel when I see some of those things in my kids. But Shai's got it in spades, so I'm sure you're overfilled. So anyway, she's gonna get a big head now. So Shai, I am actually a shy person myself. I think you knew. I don't know. I actually don't like meeting new people or being the center of attention. But you do what you do for the things you love, and it works fine, and you start getting more comfortable, and it doesn't really matter. And it seems like you've already done that, so you're way ahead of me, I think. Certainly when I was your age. So good deal. So what was that you were sharing there, Datu? Some clips and stuff we saw.
Here she is. Okay, I'm in the park doing absolutely nothing because I'm hanging out with my family. And what am I going to do? I'm just going to work on a staff form.
Nice.
But I would get videos from Angela all the time going, oh, here's after a tournament. What's she doing in the backyard? Doing this, that, or the other thing. There's always just,
Right. Now we got some comments rolling in while you were playing that.
Okay. There we go. Kara, there you go. You go, girl. Big dreams. Awesome. Excellent. Tell us it's awesome to see the new generation martial artists in action. Any video sparring with the big, I'm looking, I can't find anything, in my list here. But as an example, see, here's the thing. When we went to the World Championships, okay, so there's a picture of her in the World Championships. Okay. So unfortunately, I got the jersey photo. And this is when she first started with Miss Janice, which is cute.
Nice.
When Chucky is even bigger than her. So, here we go. Here's what we're talking about. This was after a tournament.
That's the rebar?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Yep.
We spent hours at a time. Shai is smiling. Shai, I tell you what, Shai was always very straight-laced. How you doing? Nice to meet you. And just going for her black belt, she started changing, and she'd smile and talk, and Janice was like, "Wow, she's actually talking to me now. It's cool." And she started.
It only took a few years.
only a few.
Yeah, she did that with me a time or two back, and I know I'm not really. People don't usually come up to me and talk, so good deal. So with the rebar there, I used to practice with a big, heavy metal pipe eventually in college. So again, I'm seeing good stuff there because, if I think it was good, then you think it's good. We're on the same team, so good deal.
So when you look right here, this girl's quite larger than her.
Yep.
That was the closest person to Shai's size since she started. Everyone else has always been a foot taller, a full head taller. And I'm trying to, can't find the fighting. The fighting was fun. I didn't prepare the way I wanted to for this. Gotta go. Thanks. Okay. Well, no problem. And, you can always watch the rest on YouTube.
Take it easy, D-Dog. Thanks for the comments.
Yeah.
And interaction. Good stuff.
See here. Just whipping through. Oh. By any chance? I'm looking to see what I got here.
Yeah, I'm just watching. I probably should be saying something, but
yeah.
Now, what kind of? So you do padded sparring effort? You haven't gotten any in the live sticks, but I know that you've gotten some. You don't. Yeah, I think you're game for any type of sparring. So, what kind of types of sparring have you done, Shaiya?
Knife sparring, point sparring, like stick, hand, knife, spot.
Padded knife.
Yes, that's
probably it.
I like how you say that. That's probably it. That's plenty. Most people probably, if they did any sparring at all, it's going to be empty hand. And you've done empty hand and all these different weapons types. Have you done mixed? So in other words, one person has one type of thing or empty hands, and you have a weapon or different weapons?
Yeah, in class.
Perfect.
Yeah. So she'll show up to the juniors class, which she's pretty much the same size as a lot of them. And we were doing some padded sword fighting. and there was 4 of them, and she had her stick, which is significantly shorter. And I said, all right, you guys want to take her? Sure, let's go. All right. So it wasn't fair. They probably need to be 5 or 6 guys, but and she just, it was just
No fear. No fear.
No. Well, and she's the Tasmanian devil. I mean,
That's right. There you go.
No, she does really, like I said, listen, and this is the thing. She's not doing good for a girl. She's doing good. Period. There's none of this. I don't look at any of that stuff. To me, I'm colorblind. I'm racial. I'm sex blind. I just go in there. I look at people size for size, and she's giving it to people. Oh, is this? I may have found what I was looking for. Probably not. I don't think it's what I was looking for. Yeah. So I can't find any of the fighting videos, but this is the one competition that actually does pad drills instead of forms, and we do that. This is when a guy my age goes, I want to be like her when I grow up.
Right, exactly.
And there we go. So yellow belt. So that was after becoming. So she was a little Arnisador. Tell me this is it. Is this what I've been looking for? This could be what I'm looking for. Oh no, this is okay. No. This was, or I don't know how they missed that one. This is one that we were like shaking our heads afterwards. She opens right up and kicks the kid in the head, and they gave. And like,
I saw it. That's the one thing I saw in the brief.
Hey, look, and it's like, oh no, that's not enough. The other kid got it. There's a kick again. I'm like, what are you doing?
So now that you've done all these different things, Shai, right, as part of your Modern Arnis training with your school, I'm sure you still get things like, hey, so you train sticks, what else do you do? And what do you say to them when they just assume that all you do is a little bit of stick stuff?
A lot more hand forms, different types of sticks, like different types of weapons, and just a lot more than just one stick in your hands.
The whole spiel. You probably look at him with big eyes going, what are you talking about? Chris Davidson says, savage.
Speaking of which, this is the guy who's just a couple years my junior goes, I want to be like her when I grow up.
There you go. Yep.
And Chris fights PG Craig all the time.
Yep.
Like when we're doing tournaments. So they hit each other in the groin and give each other bloody noses. It's pretty cool.
Well, there's a lot we could all learn from the focus and commitment.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed.
I sent you one of her sparring.
Oh, okay. All right. I heard that. So I have to. Okay. Shaiya sent me. Okay. I got it. You sent me a couple things, but that's the one this is actually the one I was looking for. Perfect. Let me just get it set up. Oh, it's all queued.
Perfect.
All right. So, all right. Still a while ago, not current. So, for those who are watching, this is when she won the season. This is one of the tournaments from the season. So that's me coaching her right there. So let's do this here.
Awesome.
Wow. I think she's a junior green belt at this time. Remember, she started in Arnis. All right, she does Arnis. She didn't start in Arnis. She does Arnis. And nothing else. And she's the Energizer Bunny Rabbit.
Ready to go. Not stop. Perfect.
I think this was one of the kids that were crying. And I'm like, when took one in the face. I don't care. I'm still coming at you.
If they don't call it. Or is this was continuous sparring?
No, they just couldn't see the point. I can't say a word. I'm the coach, so I can't say, dude. Are you gonna get one of these?
I got
So these
Speed
were
and
all
power. Alan says speed and power watching this.
yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. It's not just speed. You can see it.
Here we go. The Taekwondos didn't know what to do with that all-out attack.
You came here to win, right? Came here to win.
Yeah.
She's smiling big. I can see you there.
Speed and power, and then
Did you enjoy that match?
Yeah.
She enjoys any match she won.
I think she just enjoys any match too. Yeah,
okay.
she's nodding.
Well, here we go.
Craig in the way.
Yeah, he's always in the way. When was she? Okay, this was a getting ready to go for a junior black belt.
She must be the one in red and black.
Yeah. She's the one on the right.
Yep. That's right. She's a little. She's not. I can't remember. Shaiya, are you lefty or righty, or you just fight with both? Because I know you fight with both.
I fight with both.
Yeah, she's a lefty.
You're lefty though. Okay.
But she's doing everything there. Lock the combo punch. Let's go. Okay. Like the combo punch me. Yeah, she's pretty much ambidextrous. I mean, like most lefties are. They do a lot of things right-handed because society kind of pushes them down that path.
Well, like the professor.
Yeah. She has a good bow form too. Yep. That would be Sabat Shaiya. So everyone knows we don't. When they say bow staff, it drives me crazy.
I was going to say, notice he didn't say bow staff.
No, oh my god, it drives me crazy when people say that. So
staff?
Guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna go down that path. I'm gonna stay on point. So that's the first part of our conversation. We're gonna go over a little more with some other stuff. But does anyone have any questions for Shaiya before we wrap it up? Because she's been on the show for a little over an hour, and she probably has some homework or something to do. And I don't think Mom wants to sit there and listen to this all night long. Although she's probably Angela's a proud parent there. She's gonna be sharing this on YouTube. Hey, look at this, my child.
Yeah, that's
was
awesome.
Featured on a show. Where was yours? Not there. Okay.
Well, I could ask this. Does Miss Shaiya have any questions, by the way, for anybody or us?
No.
You don't want to put us on the spot? You don't want to put Datu on the spot? You'll do that in class, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see here. When will be the next? Oh, okay. When will you be opening the next Horizon Martial Arts? So they want to know when you're going to open up a school.
That's right.
I don't know.
Going, girl, don't stop. Well, so here's the thing, and people have asked me about. He goes, yes. Okay. Here's the thing about me in schools. I have no intention of opening up a second location, unless it's what my people want for themselves. So let's say Shaiya did want to open up a school, I would help her do that, and we could be part of the Horizon Martial Arts Alliance because it's easier for us to be stronger together, share advertising and stuff of that nature. But the thing here is what I tell everybody: go to school, get your education, see what you want to do. I mean, there's people I'm meeting, be teaching at their place this weekend, went to pharmacy school, making more money doing martial arts than they'd ever make in pharmacy school, because they have their systems in place. But you need to get that education. And there's a lot of business classes that you can take, and it would help you with what we're doing, But, at the end of the day, I tell everybody before I would let someone do this full time, I would want them to get an education, and I don't want to say a backup plan, but, get that business education, because that's all the stuff we do. And I could do it. I can help them with that. But you still want to make sure you get the things that are not talked about and up to date, so. All right. Well, listen, Ty, do you have any last minute questions for Shaiya? Oh, she went sideways here.
And it just logged out.
Okay.
Oh, you're still there, Shaiya.
Yeah, you're still there.
You're still there, Shaiya.
No last questions for her. What that was impressive. She had some good comments. I liked
Trade
the
hire
focus.
you
Good stuff.
isn't.
Or a trade, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
No, Chris, you're exactly right. I was going to say the same
Shaiya-
thing.
Oh, okay, so
Any message for all the young kids? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think she said in the middle there. I asked her that as well.
Yeah.
But basically, if you think you want to do something like this or anything, do it. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? Give it your all.
okay,
Focus.
so they're still here, sort of. They had a technical issue on their end. They may or may not come back in.
Okay.
So let's follow up with the stuff. So here we go. We've had a wonderful time with one of our young black belts. She's been with me since she's 3 years old. She's now 12 years old as of this past week. I kept saying, when are you turning 12?
Pretty much all of her thinking life.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I never thought she was going to turn 12 the way we were going at it. But she's been with me for 9 years.
Yep.
And there's always going to be room for improvement. I am not going to be that guy that says my students. Hey, listen, I think my students rock, but there's always room for growth. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I think I'm really good, but I know there's so much more I need to work on. So if I hold myself to that standard, you're darn right I'm going to hold my students to that standard. That being the case, she's pretty good. I'm proud of her because most importantly, she's a good human being. And that's the most important thing. And so now the thing here is, and we've talked about this on a show a whole bunch of times, but there's definitely a different approach to talk about this. If you're worried about your martial art going on beyond you, for when you stop teaching because of health or whatever, you just get tired of it. A guy in RM, or RM, he's burned out because he's a top tier martial artist, and he's getting burnt teaching white belts, burned out on it. I'm like, well, part of that has to do with where the person lives. Very transient area. People come and go with jobs because it is a vacation area.
Well,
so
when you're teaching, you're putting out and putting out and putting out and putting out. It's draining.
It's rough when you lose all your people, because what they do is they follow the seasons to follow their job. So let's say you teach in a ski resort area. Okay, well, when winter's done, they go. Yep. Oh, there she is.
Died.
Okay,
she's back.
Died.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're going to wrap this up. But Shai, let me ask you this: do you have anything? Someone asked this, and you talked about it a little before. But do you have a final message to any of the kids out there that might hear this?
To be brave and never give up on your dreams.
There we go. And I did not write a script for her either.
We all need to do that.
So, like I said, right now I'm looking for big things for Shai in the future, if that's what she wants.
Yep.
Okay. My goal, I tell all the kids when they come in through the school, I'm trained to become 5th degree black belts. That's master level instructors. That's my goal. Not everyone's going to do it. How many people make it past the introductory program? And it's not their thing. Now, I know that if Shaiya goes off in another direction because life takes her or something, or she's just done doing it, I know she's going to be able to protect herself in many situations. It's helped her with her focus, and that's my legacy. When constantly I get parents coming up to me that I haven't seen in years. Wow, you've done a real good job for my kid. They're doing all this. They gave him the confidence to do these things. And actually, Shaiya was the one that had the previous person, Mr. Ryan. She goes, "Hey, I saw him on TV." I'm like, "You saw him on TV? How come? What is this? Oh no, it's on National Treasure." He just something's going on though, because he's getting, every time I see him on film, he's getting beat up. He needs a new wing person. If he had me as a wingman, he wouldn't be getting beat up that way. It might be a little different way, but it's going to be a whole nother story.
Well, as a stunt guy, right? He's there to get beat up.
Yeah. like I say, I got to bust the chops, but
Yep.
but Shaiya now sees the earlier version of her.
Mhm.
You know, so now this is another look. Oh, there's Mr. Ryan. So Shaiya is not the first.
Mhm.
She is a long list. She's one of the more notable black belts that have come through our school, just like Mr. Ryan Monolopolis, because we have
Too many Ryans.
3 Ryans. You know, so we have Ryan Sleds, who's in the club. Ryan Monolopolis is there. Then we have another Ryan up and comer who's actually pretty good too. So, but you know, life, like, you know, I've had a couple students recently that we never thought that they would take off, and they're gone. They got their black belts, their junior black belts, and it's just life took them in a different direction. And you know, you don't want to force the kids down a certain path, but I will say this for people out there: you are the adults, not the kids. So you want to make sure they stick to something. Shai is stuck to it. She's going through. She's gone beyond just getting her black belt, and there we go. Okay, here we go. Then Miss Shai, we'll talk to you later after this, but here we go. So Alan, thank you, Dr. Tim and PG Ty, and your young master Shaiya.
Yep.
Working on that. I will visit your gyms in the future. Travel, I salute all. Thank you.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Shaiya, hopefully I'll see you later this week. I won't be there Thursday. I'll be in Florida, but Mr. Ryan's going to be running the classes for me. So thank you. And Angela, thanks you for letting your daughter come on the show.
Absolutely.
And make sure, as always, I don't have to do it. I know she does this, but as I tell all the kids out there, and I tell my students as well, and make sure you give mom a big hug and everything. And when we're off the show, just tell her, did you enjoy being on the show?
Yeah.
Then thank her when we're done.
There you go. Good deal.
All right, Shai. We will catch you later. We have some more things we're going to be talking about.
See
Bye.
you in a few months. Couple months.
They'll be up in a couple months to say hello to you.
Mhm.
Okay, so here we go.
That was cool. Well, one of the things that, it's clear, I think clear to everybody, that a lot of the extra drive and the extra push is all from her, but encouraged. It's not delivered and forced upon her. This is perfect.
So, and this is my thing. I've always been, and when I first met Chad, we even had this conversation. They're like, "Wow, you got really good students. You've trained them well." I go, "Yeah, it's more of a partnership."
Right.
I go, because as much as I train them, if they don't do the work, they're not going to be good.
Yep.
So I can't, when I hear instructors taking all the credit for their students, I get a little taken back by that, because I'm sitting there like, you only did a part of the job.
You planted the seed. They did the work to plow the fields, make it grow, water it, etc., etc.
I mean, listen, they couldn't have done what they did without me.
Right.
But they wouldn't have been there if they hadn't put the work in. So, who does the most important job? I think the better part. I mean, it is definitely a team thing, and I got to be there to do things, to motivate and all this other stuff.
Do your
But like,
part, yeah.
for those who, okay, so let's think
If
about
you're
why
going
we
to
all.
excel, it's all on the person.
If you teach and you're satisfied with what you're doing, it's the same thing for kids.
Mhm.
So when let's talk about that portion of things. So the future of martial arts, it's kids, because adults will quit. And let's talk about this. It's not adults are quitters.
Right.
I'm going to go the other equation. A lot of my adults left because they had kids.
Mhm.
And they will sacrifice everything and anything for their family.
Yep.
And you can't fault someone with it. Hey, no, I got to pick up an extra shift because my daughter wants to do this. My boy wants to do that.
Yep.
I have to put a new bedroom together because now I've got a kid, I got twins. What do I got to do? Blah, blah, blah. So kids, Shai has been with me for 9 years. She's not the only one. We walked to the one black belt. We have a whole bunch of black belts that are still in my club. And a good chunk of them started with Janice in the Little Arnisadors program, which is the 4 to 6 year old program now, or 3 to 6 year old program.
I've seen a fair number of them as I come in, every once in a while. I get to see that, wow, it's the same. Wow, they're sticking around. That's awesome.
So if you let them, and I was talking to a guy who teaches out of my club, and I said, I'll just wait until they get older. No, it's too late. They've already joined somebody else's club.
Right.
And then once and listen, I don't want someone else's hand-me-downs. Now there's a school that's closing down that I might be a home for these people. Well, what I'm doing is I'm taking on the next level of their journey, because they're just unfortunately,
they're not hand-me-downs in that case. They are orphans.
They're orphans. Yes. So the school owner, the head instructor, had staffing issues that would this guy has a job and the shifts have changed, and the staff that would help out have been stiffing him. And it's like, and the lease is up in a couple of weeks, and it's like, I can't do this. Like, how many I've had to keep canceling classes because instructors bail out of me. Because it wasn't a profession, it was a passion that was taking it, that would pay for itself. Now, this is my passion. Anyone who's been around me should know, if you spent any quantity of quality time around me, you'll understand that I'm not talking business all the time, or when I'm talking business, it's about that end game.
The business for you is a means to that end in the long term.
My end game is about the art going forward. So we were just down in doing the honoring Dr. G's 60 plus years in martial arts, and someone was speaking about, you got to teach kids, and there was people there that were like 10, 11 years old when they started, and they go, they didn't want me there, and now this guy's got one of the top schools in Bondo, but no one wanted him in the club. If you want, the only people that really have duration in this are kids. They'll be around for a long time. When I got a shitload of kids that have put a decade of training in, and then when people have the audacity to say, well, that doesn't count. Really? Now, they might not know the material the same way, but that's a decade of honing their skills or building their physical attributes. Sometimes Shaiya and other black belts don't understand where I'm coming from, because they've done the physical, but they haven't gotten into the intellectual side of things. I'm always talking about it, and they understand things quicker than I did, but certain concepts they haven't been experienced enough to wrap their heads around it. But that just takes time. Okay, with your kung fu, when you've had clubs or you've traveled around, if we're talking doing a full-time school, not that you have to do a full-time school, but how many people do you see having kids in their program versus all adults?
Well, I was always skewed towards the people who were all adults, but my teacher, right, they had a big kids program. I would say most of the students were kids for the longest time. I think that's still the case. Actually, after COVID, the ones that came back were more the kids than the adults.
So right now, I look at a big thing here. Where is everyone going to get the gene pool to replace the people you're losing? Unfortunately, when I get someone coming through my club, one of the first things I'm looking at is, how do I replace that person? Not because I'm looking to get rid of that person,
right,
but they leave. When this is the same thing in work. When you get an employee, really what you should be doing is working on how you're going to replace that employee. I hate to say it, but people move on. Do you,
no, we do that more than others, just because we know the shoe's going to drop.
Whether there's going to be budget cuts or the person just finds a better opportunity. Maybe this is a building. I got a kid that signed up today, and they weren't going to go because dad relocates for work. I said, well, would you do like a 2-month program at a time? Yeah, I do that. We did it. Boom, done. They go, and then we can just play by ear. And if because listen, I take care of all my people, I've had military people. I'm being relocated to a new base. And then we can go, I'm not sure when, but it's going to happen. Okay, well, then we can go month by month. In the meantime, I'll put you up on reoccurring billing. And then when you just tell me before you leave that that you're done, I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Boom. Easy peasy, You
got to make it easy for people to keep going, just like and part of that is making sure that it's easy to handle life's changes.
So now, if this kid relocates he'll have a positive experience doing martial arts here,
Mm-hmm.
and then have an opportunity to continue wherever they move to.
About that bigger picture, yes.
You know,
Although if you're too good, right, you can break people because they're going to see other schools and go, "Wait, that's not as good as the school I'm used to."
it is rough, and I do talk about that with people. We have a fitness kickboxing program, and there was a school. I always had an issue with it locally because weekend courses and all this other stuff, they don't do the thing. But the thing was, they were committed to doing it, so I can't fault them. My program would have been bigger had I committed to do it. But then again, that would take away time from my martial art program. This place had 3 to 5 classes a day.
Wow.
You know, okay.
Yeah, but your group, the group when it steps up all the time, they look like they're having fun. They're enjoying it, and that's a good side.
Yeah. It's right. Only the problem is, like I know, we crammed for that last test, and some of the retention changed a little, and I think part of it is because I wasn't doing the things that I normally want to do, like sparring and stuff. So if all you're ever doing is practicing for the next test, whether you're teaching kids or adults, and not doing the extras, the enrichment programs, that's going to be a problem,
Well, if you're focused on one particular tiny piece of the puzzle as your goal, you're not going to get the rest of the puzzle. Simple as that.
And it's always the journey, and I did a lot of things that were outside the box, and that's why I've always looked at, we never changed the curriculum. We reproportioned the curriculum. The material is still the same amount of material, we still do the same material. It's just sometimes we figured out it was better to teach X first and not you. So we swept the order. Maybe we gave something a better term. Maybe someone said something, and it's like, well, you know what? These two are teaching the same skill set. Let's move this back to reinforce it down the road versus doing it now and not getting back in the program. Which is, why do we do Sinwalis every belt level? Almost, it's like, well, because it'll reinforce them doing Sinwalis and getting better at that activity, even though each belt level is a different Sinwali. Overall, they should be better. But Eric, we're getting ready to log off, Eric.
That's right. Yeah. See. Okay. Good show. See you. Okay. Bye.
So definitely watch the rebroadcast. So
right.
For those who are thinking about doing, teaching with kids and stuff like that, first of all, the first thing I would say is
get yourself a bunch of Shaiyas.
You get your bunch, yeah. Cloner.
That's right.
The other thing I'd say is, listen, first thing you got to do, just back from the gym. That's what you said last time.
It doesn't matter. We're still going to bust on you.
Eric was at the seminar. Okay, bye, LOL. Nice. Eric, so I did a virtual seminar or a hybrid seminar this weekend, which went very well, and had a bunch of the Brazilians on board and a few other people here and there, so that was cool. So first thing, what you do is you got to remember if you're going to do junior ranks, then make sure it's 2 different curriculums. If you're teaching the exact same curriculum to the kids and the adults, then there's no reason to give them a different belt. They're still doing the same quantity of work. So here's what happens. You sit there, back in the day, you had to be 18 years old. So maybe the kid becomes 15. You give him a junior black belt. He's done all the work that everyone around him has done. Then he hangs out for 3 years. Now, while everyone else in that same group got their black belt, in 3 years, they're going for their second degree. So now he gets to that age, and you don't bump him to second. You put him at first. But he's doing just as much, maybe even more than some of his classmates that are now their second degree black belts. How long do you think they're going to want to stay around?
I was going to say something about that old model would certainly chase people away if they started too early because there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah. Now, don't worry if you don't use belts. Right. If you use levels, you use wristbands, you use armbands, you colored T-shirts, fill in the blank. Hell, you teach a Mickey Mouse version of Filipino martial arts, wear Mickey Mouse colored ears. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. There's a joke in there.
Well, then there's people who want to say, hey, what if you use no ranks? I applaud that, but you know what? You only get a certain kind of people then because not everybody can see that long picture.
I mean, we were brought up with a belting system, so it's doing ranks in Arnis for us is not artificial. But you know what? The thing here, and remember, the Americans did not create the belting system.
Right.
The Japanese did that. We just, you know, they did all these cues, and it was
Right.
all these white belts. All
Yep.
we did was take the crayons and colored in between the lines and made them colorful.
That's right.
So we didn't create that shit. That we just colorized it, you know.
The steps were there. We just made them more visible, so you don't, you know, the caution tape.
But exactly. But if you look at it, the world, and Eric thought that was funny. Good. The world does levels in something because you have first grade, second. You look at the education system. This is hardwired into us.
Yep.
You know. Now my Balintwalk, if you go the original Balintwalk through Anshan Bakan via Ted Buat, you're either a teacher or you're a student. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Same like old school kung fu. Yep.
The zombie's back. Pizza used colored socks. Okay.
He was very polite and quiet during the first.
Very good. You behaved while Shaiya was on. Thank you, and everybody. You know, thank you for behaving.
That's right.
Because you know some of the parents will see the after show afterwards. So you know, listen. You know, at the end of the day, we as the world, you know, we do great. We do this already. We have grades already. Why wouldn't you apply it to your martial arts? It just makes sense.
It's a factor of nature. We prioritize everything, whether it's risk or accomplishment or whatever. It's still done.
But I like to know when I've gotten better at something.
Or what you need to work on, because hey, I'm going. You know, you see the relative level of progress. So I'm doing really good over here, but here I got to work on that. But you don't do that if you don't make that judgment.
No. Remember those 2 inches if it's karate, up to 8 inches if it's kung fu pieces of material.
Right.
Don't cover your butt. You know, at the end of the day, the belts are everything and nothing all at once. They're
you make it 3
meaningless.
feet wide, it'll cover my butt.
There we go. The belts are meaningless.
They are absolutely of themselves
the
meaningless.
Effort that you put in and the accomplishments you did, that's everything to people. And I get that, you know. There you go, me too. So one of the things that with this school that might be coming over, I told them that they could wear their rank, even though it's in another system. And when they get their equivalent rank in Arnis, we'll start them over on that belt.
Sure.
Some people might say, I'm just going to take the belt off. I got black belts who've been working with me for 20 plus years that don't wear a belt.
Yep.
Okay. Was soundproof in my dojo.
That sounds very responsible.
Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do there, but I highly advise with anything, if you're going to teach anyone, let alone kids, make sure you have, well, first of all, have a curriculum.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know,
helps you and it helps them.
I understand why the Filipino martial artists don't have it because they never had it because they made their shit up. I mean, this was not something. No, I mean, let's say about. I mean, this is, you know, listen. I'll say it in the right way. I already called it out there. You know, I'll say it. Why? Okay, we do not have this multi-generational handed down martial culture from generation to generation that has been documented and archived through the years. I mean, they were occupied by the Spaniards for 400 years. Okay, the Filipino culture is more of a folklore culture. Do I want to do this?
No, it's fine. It's funny though.
I once had a kid go to the bathroom and somehow he flushed his belt.
That's pretty special.
That was good.
Yep.
I've always make them turn. Yeah, I've had them pee out their belts, but
no, but it was
you know,
passed down, organically and not codified, which is not a bad way if it gets done right. Or guess what? Somebody was really successful. What do you do in this situation? I don't know. I would do that. So it's not, making it up, which is what we sort of said earlier. It is not necessarily a bad thing. It could be the best people making it up, but they had to describe what they did, and it wasn't codified.
Well, I mean, look at the Native Americans. You know, they did a lot of their fighting arts via games like lacrosse and stuff like that. You know, so it was an activity that built that, but it wasn't step forward, reverse punch, and all that other stuff. So there's many ways of doing this, but the first thing I would say is have a written curriculum. That is a guideline. It is not carved in stone. It is molded in clay.
So it's kind of like I'm going to geek out here for a second. It's kind of like first edition AD&D. It was a guideline. Vice all the hard and fast rules.
Yeah, then they changed it all later.
Yeah. Don't get me started.
You're not doing it my
Now
way.
we're going to get a bunch of haters because we're hating on anything but first edition.
You know, and listen, at the end of the day, if you're going to teach kids or different age groups like that, you definitely want to look at having a different curriculum, a lighter load. Because if you're not going to give an adult black belt, then make sure they're not doing everything the adults are doing. And the thing here is age appropriate material.
Yep.
You know, and so one of the things that we're looking at doing in post black belt development for the adults is putting our nunchuck kata in there or form. You know, why? Because these are great skill development material to teach kids when you're not teaching them how to open up someone's carotid artery.
Right. Well, it's a teaching tool in that case, right?
There you
Build
go.
some skills and stuff.
Uh,
Actually, I can't understand what that says.
I don't know that 20 to 50 look like Asian World Martial Arts do the 8 to 12 rows.
Oh, 20 to 50 rows.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
There we go. The curriculum is like the sauce of the pizza. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, you know, and we have a mutual acquaintance down south, and someone was trying to ask me, you know, long story short, someone was no longer part of that group, was with me, and an old friend of him was, well, why do you like Hartman? Well, for one, he has a written curriculum. And that ended the conversation right there. There really was no more discussion. Because the person's like, you know, do you know what you need to do to get your black belt? No, I do.
Do you know where you're going? I do, right? It's not even.
I got a map.
Right. It's not even about the target; it's the journey, right? I mean, I
not,
always say that, but it actually.
Or the people that do this. Well, if you have to ask, you don't know, or you're not ready. I'm like,
yes.
What do you mean? Are you really saying that you don't know and you can't tell them?
Right.
I think that's more appropriate.
Or you're not ready to know. There's a bit of people love hierarchy for the wrong reasons sometimes.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's like, come on, stop with the, you know what? You're not Kwai Chang Caine.
Right.
Stop it. Just stop it.
That's that he was a dancer, so hey.
Well, there you go. There you go. So, So, with everything going on, I tell you, if you want to get things going, definitely look at having kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need kids for the future, for your the state of your school to keep going, et cetera, et cetera.
Kids become adults.
And that too, yes.
That's what people forget that. So, you know, you want to get on top of that while you can, and get them in there.
Wait, when am I supposed to become an adult?
Next month.
Okay, it wasn't on my calendar.
Yeah. Well, it's an amended one. It's coming out soon.
All right.
So, you know what? The program, or no, the program.
We're good. Yeah.
I really wasn't planning to go the way we did, but I think it went in a good direction.
Well, and you know, I didn't wrap my head around questions ahead of time, so I just hopefully we covered enough. She seemed fine.
Well, you know what? I think.
But it was natural.
It was organic, and I think we got a lot of good audience presentation or participation.
Mm-hmm.
And
how many people did we have? I didn't want to ask while she was on, but how many people?
I think we had up to 15 at one time.
Oh, nice. I wish it was more, because more people need to see that future.
Yeah, but well, then we can share this. So
there you go.
Okay, did Remy bring degrees to Arnis, or did they use them in karate before? Or did they use them like karate? So Remy adapted the whole ranking system in. Boom. He just took the whole thing. Listen, Filipino martial arts didn't have ranking systems. It's a karate thing. They didn't have uniforms. What happened? Remy took a karate uniform. He modeled it off. He did the white shirt and the red pants with the belt.
And then made an accessible, hey, that one looks cool. Let's do that one. It's different and cool.
And actually, evidently, Bruce Jutnick was the one that bought him the Century Fight uniform. Now, listen about this. I've one of the Datus and I Okay, it was Dieter. We'll talk. Dieter and I went back and forth, and he tried to tell me that the Filipinos had those tops, had those uniforms. Okay, Century Martial Arts, which is one of the largest martial arts suppliers in the world, was doing this in the 70s. In the 70s, before Arnis was even known about in the States, do you really think they would do a uniform for the Filipino martial artists that didn't exist over here? Stop it.
It was listed as a competition karate uniform, right?
Because it was because it was. And actually, I saw kickboxers wearing tops just like that.
I remember, yes.
Okay. So this is nonsense. So what the uniforms, Bruce bought him a uniform. He wore it back. The guys loved it. Everyone started wearing, because anytime you saw Remy prior to that, he was wearing that sleeping style type shirt. So when someone tries to tell me about what the time frame is, do your due diligence, know what you're talking about. And what happened is belts, that's what the Japanese were using. Uniforms, that's what the Japanese were using. Why? Because they were competing against karate. Okay, so Remy adopted a lot of the stuff. Okay, here we go, Steve. Good show as usual. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it, Steve.
Thanks.
So we can get more into it, but I think that's good. Unless anyone has the last minute.
Was there anything else we should have mentioned or talked about with Shaiya? I think we covered a lot. Let her kind of go where we're going, and then we, filled in some blanks.
I think it was good that you took point on that. I mean, we can have.
I got her to feel comfortable at the end. I could definitely tell.
Yeah, she had a good time. You know what? And listen, with all of our guests, sooner or later, they'll be back on.
There you go. Excellent.
I'd like to get Emily on too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh my God, Emily's a beast. The only thing that's killing me is that she's going away to college. But yeah, it's just
I had the college clubs. I hated that. They'd graduate and they'd go away. So I had them for 4 years, maybe 6, depending on what degrees they were doing. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So I got to do this while I'm on the phone here. So next week, we want to talk about next week's show.
What are we doing next week?
See, so that's what I
well, that's what I have to ask that question, otherwise I don't file it away, and I'll ask you, minutes before. What are we doing again?
So tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow. I'm sending an invite to somebody for tomorrow. Let me just do this here, because my schedule changed. Okay, she's already got. Should be in her calendar, but I will send this to her. We're going to talk about Modern Arnis and Remy Praces. Something.
What are those again?
Modern Arnis and Remy Praces. You may have heard of the guy.
I don't know. You tell me about it. It'll be interesting.
So let me. First, let me do.
I warned everybody a long time ago. I only have dad humor. Sorry.
Yeah. So, Remy Praces and Modern Arnis are quite often misunderstood, and
even by those doing them,
especially by those doing it. So actually, let me give you the description. How's that? I'll go to the show. Let me pull up YouTube because I did this up. I actually did well in advance. I already have the show posted and advertised. Remy who? Yeah, exactly.
Is that the title of the show?
Remy who? Like Doctor Who, but different.
Could be.
Does he have a TARDIS? He traveled the world like he had one.
Right, pretty much.
Okay, so here we go. I'll pull this over here so it looks like I'm looking at you guys. Boom. In next week's episode of FMA Talk, we'll be discussing who the late Remy A. Praces and what is Modern Arnis. Both are often misunderstood, and there are a lot of disinformation floating around regarding the man and the art. In our opinion, Modern Arnis is one of the most complete martial systems in existence today. Many people consider it to be the synthesis of Filipino martial arts, but not everyone understands the big part of the big part. I'm talking the Filipino. It's a big part of its effectiveness comes from what it borrows from other styles such as Dumag. It did say Kali in there, and other arts. As much as I hate saying Kali, I was using Kali copy AI to do.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
It's like an amen, Datu. Many.
I just played with OpenGPT the other day. It was interesting, but that's
Okay.
a whole other story.
So,
I get it.
there's a lot of people who talk about stuff, and they knew Remy for a short era. Here's what you got to remember. Modern Arnis was a living, breathing art like the man. He changed course directions all the time based on the life. Remy was on a perpetual walkabout. But we're going to get that into next week's show. Now, I will be coming from the Kovar conference. I'll be a guest instructor there. I'm actually doing a seminar Thursday night over at Ernie McKinney School. And then Friday night, I'm teaching at the business conference. I'm teaching martial arts. And then we'll be going from there. Also, I've been asked to speak in Canada on how I was able to have a successful Filipino martial arts school, because people don't understand how you can do that. Even we've had people on this show ask about that.
Right.
And the key to that is make sure that you have some open hand combatives taught in there. And no, I don't mean taking angle one and doing it without a stick in your hand.
And you have a kids programs?
Kids programs. Well, yeah. All right. So that's about it for this week's show. Ty, I want to just stay on for a few moments afterwards, as usual. I'm looking for my outro. So as usual, everybody please stay safe and stay sane. This is Dr. Tim.
PG Ty. Take care, everyone.
We'll see you all soon.